Daily life is a relentless sequence of demands and overwhelming noise. The sheer volume of unpredictable events leaves us out of our depth. In response to this modern anxiety, a specific piece of ancient advice has resurfaced online and in popular culture: accept what you cannot control. It is often presented as a straightforward hack for achieving inner peace. Applying this strictly creates a severe paradox. If the goal is to detach emotionally from anything outside our immediate power, it raises the question of how we should treat poverty, tyranny, or systemic cruelty. Taken literally, this advice provides a convenient justification for looking the other way, an excuse to simply roll over and submit to fate. This passive interpretation creates a version of Stoicism that clashes with the practical lives of the people who actually built and lived the philosophy. The original Stoic thinkers did not formulate their ideas in a gentle environment. They developed them within the Roman world, a society defined by brutal hierarchies, sudden violence, and absolute authority. At the very top of this hierarchy sat Marcus Aurelius. He used these exact principles to manage the crushing psychological weight of governing the largest empire on earth. At the absolute bottom of that same hierarchy was a man named Epictetus. He was enslaved, entirely stripped of physical autonomy, yet he relied on the identical framework to maintain his humanity and intellect. For both men, releasing their grip on external circumstances served as a calculated, strategic method to conquer the one thing they actually possessed: their own minds. Epictetus codified this strategy into a firm psychological rule. He stated that human existence must be strictly divided into two categories: things within our power and things that are not. Outside our control, he placed our bodies, our property, our reputation, and our wealth, things the Stoics called externals. Inside our control is a highly protected list: our opinions, motivations, desires, and choices. This is the domain of character. To a Stoic, this internal domain is the only place where true value exists. Living rationally and consistently is what they called virtue. Everything sitting in the external category is considered a mere indifferent. Because external things lack real value, pursuing them too closely is dangerous. Musonius Rufus warned his students that accumulating excessive wealth softens a person's character, making it harder to act virtuously when under pressure. The dichotomy of control operates as a psychological filter. By turning down the volume on external distractions, you conserve all your mental energy to build up your own character. Testing this philosophy against extreme historical realities clarifies its true utility. If you are trapped in a system of total subjugation, does a strict internal focus demand that you accept the brutality? The life of Frederick Douglass provides an answer. Born into the violent reality of American slavery, Douglass established control over his internal world first. He secretly taught himself to read. He analyzed his condition. He forged his own intellectual independence, facets of his mind that his enslavers could not reach. That intense internal discipline provided the psychological armor he needed to escape. He then spent the rest of his life demanding the abolition of slavery, executing the Stoic virtues of justice and courage on a national scale. Years later, he published an open letter to his former enslaver. He meticulously dismantled the institution of slavery, yet stated he entertained no personal malice, going so far as to offer the man shelter in his own home. He maintained complete composure. Douglass proves the mechanism of this philosophy in practice. Mastering the internal world does not breed docility. It provides a secure foundation from which to strike outward and demand justice in the physical world. Applying this ancient system today occasionally requires an adjustment. A strict binary between total control and zero control can feel rigid when facing complex modern issues like career trajectories or personal health, where we clearly have some influence. This chart illustrates a modern update, the trichotomy of control. It inserts a middle category for things where we have partial control. The strategy is calibration. You must perfectly match your emotional concern to your degree of actual leverage. Stoicism functions as a daily, lifelong practice. It requires reviewing your reactions each evening, noting where you allowed external events to dictate your mood, and waking up the next morning prepared to reset. Whether you are managing a nation or navigating personal hardship, the unpredictable forces of reality will continue to push against you. By identifying exactly what is yours to command and letting go of the rest, you are no longer at the mercy of the storm. You retreat into an unshakable inner citadel, secured entirely by your own virtue.